To be or not to be? That is the question. Well, actually, that's not the question. The question is Wing Chun or not Wing Chun. So here's the thing. I am true blue Wing Chun all the way. It's in my blood, literally. My father's my Sifu. The Wing Chun that I know, and the only Wing Chun that I practice, is the Wing Chun that I learned from my father. Now, of course, are there nuances? And the answer for that is absolutely 1,000,000,000% there are nuances. I mean, even if you look at some of my students, you'll know that's a Musi there, but they still have their nuances, you know, because they're individuals, they're their own people. And so there should be nuances. But as far as the framing, as far as, you know, what the blueprint is, my students pretty much look like me with regards to execution. So the other thing is, well, why don't you just call it JKD, since all you show is more boxing, you know? Well, that's a good question too, except it's none of your business. See, the thing is, it's not JKD. I'm going to explain something to you that you may or may not have ever learned. You ready for this? Sit down, okay? You can wear pants and a shirt at the same time. You can indeed be slap dab in the middle of winter with snow inside a warm car. You can do those two things together. Sometimes you could do multiple things together. Now, when it comes to fighting in general, okay? Fighting. Forget about a ring, forget about a cage, fighting in general. Fighting is colorblind, it's race blind, and believe it or not, it's even blind to the martial art. Fighting is about impact. Fighting is about reality. It's about getting something done. What is the end goal of fighting? Make sure you come out of there safely, and I'll refrain from saying how you get out of there safely. But that's your goal, is to survive. Now, when you take fighting out of the picture just altogether, as human beings, it is our duty, our life, it's in our DNA to survive. Self-preservation is of the utmost importance. So I speak with people who are in whether they come from my lineage or any other lineage in Wing Chun, and you know, this is the part of Wing Chun that I actually detest. It's the religiosity of it. It's the bureaucracy and all of the erudite, you know, I come from this lineage and this lineage and this lineage, and it's all about this lineage thing that they forget about the basic. Here's the bottom line. If you're learning the martial arts so that you can ease yourself, feel confident and cool and calm as a cucumber, then awesome, that's nice. I've been pretty open that while I don't espouse us looking for trouble, and I don't espouse hurting people, I'm pretty open that when the time comes, should you, if it never happens, awesome, but if you should ever get into a confrontation, I'm pretty vocal and open about exactly what you need to do to handle that situation. And it's not a matter of looking pretty, okay? No one's gonna care about your technique. No one's gonna care about how smooth you were. No one's gonna care. The bottom line is going to be, will you be alive or around or hospitalized after that? And that's what I teach, and that's what I espouse. And it's also interesting that even people within my lineage, okay, within my lineage, you know, oh, did you see Joseph? He does this, and Joseph that. Here's another thing real quick, is that I've never, ever, although it means the same thing, I personally have never told anyone ever in all of my life, and I'm 54 years old right now, I've never told anybody to call me Sifu, to call me coach, to call me whatever it is other than my name, Joseph Musi II. And that is a fact 100%. Now, some people love, believe it or not, some people love to be called and introduce themselves as Sifu Billy Bob, as Coach Tom Jankson. You know, I'm making up names, but people love that. Now, I don't identify myself as that. I am a teacher, okay? But my name is Joseph Musey II. And as far as being called something, that's great if that's what you're in the martial arts for. And I have to tell you, Wing Chun, the community of Wing Chun has been the most, I mean, there's a couple of others right behind it, but in my opinion, has been the most self-righteous, pretentious, I'm talking about erudite, nose in the air group of people that I've ever known in my life. It's like, you got to understand that when you're learning a martial art like Wing Chun, it takes a lot of time, just like any other martial art, I should say. There are things that you have to kind of do over and over and over and over before you can even move to the next phase and the next phase and the next phase and so on and so forth. But if I were to take anybody right now, you know, I don't know, I see this old man here. He looks like he's about 60 years old, but, you know, he has some mobility. And if I confronted him and pushed him, he's going to have only one of two reactions. He's going to be horrified and probably have a heart attack, and that's the end of that. Or he's going to fight back. He's going to know that he's in his 60s, and he's going to know that he probably doesn't have the physical wherewithal of the ability, and maybe he does. But those are the only two options, okay? So when it comes to martial arts, I think that Wing Chungers in general really need to get out of that proverbial box, because it's not even so much proverbial anymore, or it's not even metaphorical. I feel like you've literally put yourself in a wooden box and are way too consumed with WCS, Joseph Musey II, and how I apply Wing Chun. Now, why do I post mostly mixed martial arts or boxing in my WCS, any social media platform, including YouTube? Well, I'm going to tell you, okay? And I know you guys are not going to like this. But, you know, when YouTube first came out, and that was a long time ago, I was one of the first people making videos for YouTube, believe it or not. Now, I never made it big or anything like that because I didn't know how to really work with YouTube, and I wasn't consistent, and algorithm and blah, blah, blah. You know, I had a profession where, you know, I was working like 15, 20-hour days every day, 7 days a week. So it didn't really afford the time for me to do that. So that's why I never had that. But I stopped posting my Wing Chun only stuff because the Wing Chun community sucks. I mean, you can't put anything out there without one of these Wing Chun naggers complaining and talking about how they're Sifu and they're Sifu and they're Sifu, and putting all of these names. They come from Ching Chang Quang, and they go from the province of this place, and and it's like they made it so much about everything else but the fight. I'm a fighter. I love the fighting aspect of it, okay? Yes, it's peace and calm and all that. And you could do the first form, second form. You could do all that for energy flow, to get your lymphatic system movement, and I teach that as well. But I'm a fighter. I teach fighting for fighters because there's something visceral inside of you that has to wake up in order for you to be a changed person in your life, okay? In your everyday actual life, aside from martial arts in general. And that's the way that I teach it. So for you guys, where's the camera here? You know exactly who I'm talking about, okay? There's a group of you, but I'm talking to you. Please, if you have a problem, an issue, a concern, a worry, or you're writing a book on me and you want to know why this, and that. Number one, I would say, wow, That's a lot of time that you've allocated to being in my life. I guess I should take it as a compliment. 2, ask me yourself. Ask me yourself. Speak to me. Feel what I have. Let's see what we have. Let's exchange ideas. But speak to me. I mean, at a certain point and at a certain age in a person's life, it's like, and this is exactly why I teach Wing Chun the way I teach it. And one of the reasons why I don't really post my actual Wing Chun stuff. If you want real Wing Chun and you want actual Wing Chun the way I teach it, then you're going to have to come to my school and you're going to have to learn with me. But other than that, I kind of just sparingly post my Wing Chun stuff because, number one, all of my haters who complain about it and talk to everybody and talk to my Sifu and talk to everybody about it, they end up doing it themselves. And it's like, oh, okay, so what were you complaining about? That's number one. Number 2 is I actually hold near and dear to my heart the Wing Chun that I learned. And I really don't want to give all of that stuff on social media. If you want to learn it, by all means, I definitely will teach it to you in person at the school with me. So whether I'm traveling in New York or I'm in Tampa, or I'm in California, I'm in Chicago, wherever I'm at, if you want to learn, then yes, you can learn from me and I will show you the Wing Chun that I know. Now, lastly, for all you Wing Chungers who are so like entrenched and ensconced in Lineage, please do yourself a favor. You have to get off of your high horse. Go out there and test your stuff with other people other than Wing Chungers, okay? The truth of the matter is that the guy you fight on the street or the guy you're gonna spar with in the gym, he's probably not gonna know Wing Chun. Now, if you're gonna do it with the Wing Chun and the Wing Chun guy, then obviously there's gonna be things that you're accustomed to because you're both Wing Chungers. So you're gonna recognize what they're gonna throw, how they're gonna throw it, and so on and so forth. And then lastly, on the nuances of Wing Chun, because I almost came this close to just changing my whole business name. But then I said, you know what? I'm not the one with the problem. It's you guys. So the last thing here is this. Wing Chun science is an idea. And believe it or not, you ready to hear this? The first form, the Silam Tao, is or means the little idea. And you guys broke out of that. And you wanted to make it a big idea. And you put yourself and your Sifu in front of everything that you got so blinded. Now, of course, I'm not denouncing. I love my Sifu because he happens to be my Sifu, my teacher, my mentor, and he's my father. So I love it, okay? But at the same time, I'm my own person. The people that I teach are their own person, and there's a blueprint. So when people see, when I'm actually teaching Wing Chun, they'll see how I teach and they'll go, oh wow, that looks like Joe Sr. Okay, so I don't want to bring shame to my father. I don't want to bring shame to his clan. So in this video, I do want to just say WCS, which was created and proliferated by Joseph Musi II, is my brand. And yes, my brand includes all of what you see and have seen for years. I'm all over social media. I have a YouTube page. I have several YouTube pages, and I've been doing this literally, or I should say I've been recording stuff literally since YouTube came out. Okay, I've been recording stuff since before YouTube even came out. But this is what I do. This is how I teach. So if you're not going to learn from me, or at least come to me as a man, and you want to see what I have, and you want to maybe learn and exchange ideas, if you're not going to do that, then stop. Literally, you can unfollow me. Just stop worrying about me and caring about what I teach. I could tell you one thing, and this is something that I swear by. I can make a fighter out of anybody. You bring a 90-pound man and you bring a guy who is 4'11", and you bring a guy who has a will and a want to change and to be something, and I'll make that guy a fighter for sure, 100%. I will make his bones steel. I will make his mind so solid no one can penetrate it. I will make his fist so powerful that he will hit like a 200-pounder. But I guarantee you one thing, that will be a fighter, and he'll be a trained, changed person, not just in the fighting arena, but it'll permeate in every aspect of his life. So that's one thing for sure that I will do and have done. So, like always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, like I always say, DM me, talk. Now, if you're not an adult, or if you're not halfway man enough to reach out to me, then I would just highly recommend that you just stop talking. Get me out of your mind, get me out of your picture, just boom, and just move on with life, with other important things that should be important to you in your life other than me. And like I said, I'm flattered, but when I hear things from everywhere else, I think enough is enough. If you want to see what I have, come visit me. Let's reach out and talk to each other, and let's just exchange ideas. And then maybe you won't be spreading this different perspective that you have of me and my art. I'm very, very confident, extremely confident and happy in what I teach. And that is just a 1,000,000,000% fact. It is in everything that I do. And it's why I walk the way I walk and I talk the way I talk, not because I'm cocky, but I'm extremely confident in what I do. And that is in every arena in my life, every. And that is what I want every man to have, is to feel confident in every arena in his life, that he's not worried about nonsense of another man. So hopefully this will get you angry enough to reach out to me, or maybe humble you enough to reach out to me, or maybe you just realize, wow, maybe I should just forget about this dude, and that will be great too. All right? Again, questions, comments, concerns, you know where to reach out. Looking forward to hearing from you. Peace.